The next tool that we're going to test is the Magic Wand tool. So again, make sure that we're on the background layer, it's activated, and all the other layers are turned off at the moment. We're going to work just on this one. And the Magic Wand tool has been around forever. It's a great tool. It creates a selection based on luminosity and color values. It does not seek out edges like the last two tools did. Instead, it's going to be looking for pixels within a certain color or luminosity range, regardless of whether or not they happen to define an edge. So because of this, whoa, what is this going to be? It works best for pictures that have a distinct, or selections that have a distinct solid color. So this definitely does. These are great edges. Basically, we're going to tell it, we're going to click on something and say, this color yellow, yep, select everything that's that color yellow. And if we keep it specific, we're only going to get that one tiny shade of yellow. If we expand how specific we are, we're going to get more and more of the flower. If we get too generalized, it's also going to start picking up yellow pixels anywhere in the image. So it's a little bit different than we're used to. So come over to the quick selection tool and pop down to the Magic Wand. Let's look up here at our bar. The first thing is the sample size, and if it's set to point sample, wherever you click underneath this cursor is the one point that it's going to sample for a color. So we have some options here to maybe give it a little bit more variety. So maybe we're going to change this to the 3x3 average. So where we click, it's going to look for pixels in a 3x3 square all around it, and that color of yellow is what it's kind of going to average out. All right, the tolerance part is how picky it is, and we're going to start at 32. That's the default, but if that's too picky, we'll change it to a lower tolerance. Anti-alias can be kept on, and contiguous means the yellow colors have to be touching. So in that case, it would prevent a random yellow pixel out here from being selected. It has to stay touching a yellow pixel next to it. Sometimes you do want to pick them no matter where they are in the image, and then you have to turn off contiguous. Sample all layers is not necessary for us right now because we're only on this one. But again, if you had a composite going with lots of different things going on different layers, you might want to sample all of the layers with that one click. So we're going to keep it at the 3x3 and the 32, and we're going to come in here and we're going to click once on a buttercup. And based on where I clicked and the settings of tolerance I have here, it put a selection area around all of the yellow that fit into that category. Parts that didn't, it excluded. So this darker spot right here got excluded. This lighter spot got excluded. So we can add to these spots by shift clicking. So I could hold down shift and say, yeah, take that piece too. We'll see if that worked. Yep, it did. Sample in here, holding shift, uh-oh, that got too crazy. Because it was dark in here and it was contiguous, because this was still touching, it also took these dark yellow pixels. I'm just going to do a Command Z to back it up a step. Maybe I can add to it with the shift button by clicking here. Let's see what that does. Okay, that helped here. Maybe it'll help here. That's okay. That's okay. I'm still holding shift and clicking, but we know we probably can't click on these dark areas in here. Notice that as I'm hitting some of these, it is doing a good job of taking away even more problem areas. Wow, I got really lucky with that one. Another option is to just start out all over again. I just clicked over here and lower your tolerance or increase it. So let's try a 40 tolerance and click in here. That was better than the first time. I'll have to fix up a few parts. What if I wanted it to be really picky and I did a 10? A tolerance of 10 only did that much. So you can kind of see how this tolerance behaves. I'll do a 40, try again. That's not bad. The other thing that we can do is that we can add to it with another tool. So we can hold down our shift and switch to our lasso this. I'm holding shift and I'm saying, nope, add that. I'm in my lasso tool. I started originally with the magic wand, but I'm cleaning it up with the lasso, and I'm making sure it's adding to this selection. There we go. Now I have a nice selection that was done primarily with the lasso or the magic wand tool. I'm just cleaning it up with the lasso. All right, when we're happy with this, we are going to do the same process. We're going to do a Command C to copy those pixels. We're going to select the top thing in our layer stack, and we're going to paste. Command V. That pastes it onto, oh, did I miss? Okay, good. I was a little nervous that I lost my selection, but there it is. It's pasted in. We'll double click to name this, and this is the magic wand. And we can see how that worked by turning off our background layer and testing it on black and on white. All right, let's turn off all of the layers except our background and switch to the background image again. I'm going to save this just because I guess we haven't in a while and I'm getting a little nervous. Buttercups PSD, I'm just going to do a file save, maybe, or save as. If I do a save as, I can give it my own name. If I do just a regular save, it's going to save over that generic name. I need a new computer. Does anybody feel my pain? Wow. All right, never mind. I'm just going to save it and hope that it saves. There it is. It is actually saving now, but it used this exact same file name. All right, a better way maybe to show the magic wand tool is to use a picture that we've had before. And in Blackboard, I gave you some download options. Oh boy, never mind. I gave you some download options to download some files that we would need for today. So if you didn't do that, because I didn't explicitly say that before we started, I'll jump back into, here we go. All the workbook files are here. We'll get to those at the end, but Buttercups is right here. So this is the file we're using. And Wineglass, if you don't already have it from last week's download, chapter 2, here's the Wineglass. That's actually the one that we're going to use next, but you probably have it because it was in last week's lessons. So I'm going to do an open, and I'm going to go to the chapter 2 or lesson 2 folder, or here it is, Wineglass. You never know. There it is. And we're going to open that. This is a great candidate for the magic wand tool because it has a uniform background. So whenever you have a picture on all white, it's going to be really easy to use the selection tool. All right, we're going to set our selection options for the magic wand. So come back to the magic wand, make sure that we're in a 3x3 average, and we're going to go back to the default tolerance of 32. Anti-alias is checked, contiguous is checked, meaning the pixels have to be touching each other. Sample all layers unchecked. Let's look at our layer panel and realize that we do have two layers. We have this glass on a white background, or if we turn off the visibility of the background, we'll just see that it's on a transparent background. So this one has already been isolated off of the white, but we're going to show you how it works using this image. So make sure that both are visible, but select the glass one layer only. And with your magic wand, click anywhere in the white. And notice we have marching ants around the glass itself. Now, the white is not on this layer. What it was really selecting was, wait for that to catch up, it was really selecting the nothing layer, if you will. But how do we select the glass itself? That's what we really want to do. We want to get the marching ants around the glass. Just because you see them here doesn't mean that they're selected, because we also see them on the border. The selection is the things that are in between or on the inside of the marching ants. So if you have marching ants around the border, you are selecting this part. We only want marching ants around the wine glass itself. So we're going to go up to select, and there's an option called inverse. Shift Command I. That's like select the opposite. So now our marching ants are still here, but they went away here, meaning the only pixels selected are the ones on the inside, this actual wine glass. Click away to deselect or do a Command D to get rid of your marching ants. And now we're going to click on the background layer to just select it. And we're going to once again click in the white area. And we are going to get marching ants around the whole rectangle because that's all that's there on that layer. We've asked it to pick white pixels, and it's a whole rectangle of white, the entire image. All right, we're going to deselect the marching ants one more time, Command D. And we're going to come up to our option bar and choose the sample all layers. So now, even though we're working on the background layer, it knows that all layers are fair game here. Now when we click in the white area with the magic wand, it's only going to choose the white pixels that are not underneath the glass layer. So you can see it put the marching ants here again. All right. So anytime you have something showing up on a white background or a solid background that has some contrast, but a solid background, the magic wand is the greatest tool on earth. I'm going to do a quick file, save as, and I'm going to flatten this down into just a JPEG, and I'm going to show you the power of this. So when you're working with an image that has a solid color that you want to get rid of, the magic wand is almost always one of your easiest first tools to try. So I'm going to save this as a JPEG in Chapter 3 files. And I'm going to do a file open, and I'm going to grab the JPEG. Here it is. You do not have to do this. I'm simply going to show you how this works. Okay, so at this point you can see in our layers panel, this is a flat image. The wine glass is not separate from the white background. But if we wanted to select it out, we could use the magic wand, come over here and click on the white, or if this were a black background or a green or whatever, this is going to select all the pixels that fit in the category of being white. The sample all layers didn't have to be on. I could have had it turned off. It's a one layer thing. It doesn't matter. But because we want to select the wine glass, not the white part in between, we need to get the inverse. You can right click and select inverse is an option here as well. Or you can go up to the select menu and choose inverse, or Shift Command I, 3 different ways. But the goal is to just select the wine glass, and we did successfully do that. So we could do a copy, and then we could bring it into another file if we wanted to and paste it in. You don't have to do this, obviously. I'm waiting for it to come in. There it is. It's huge. But there it is. So I have a monstrous wine glass currently on top of my background layer. And I'm just going to quick shrink it up to show you guys 10% by 10%. Did that make it too small? Perhaps. %. Oh my goodness gracious. How about if we just say no to all of that? And I switch to the move tool, and I eventually prove my point because my computer is so slow. Here it is. It's the wine glass on its own layer floating above with no white background. So that was an easy way to select the item off of this. We didn't have to go around with the lasso or the magnetic lasso or anything. We simply chose the solid color and then picked the inverse, which was the thing that we wanted. All right, I'm getting rid of this layer. I hope I haven't confused the issue more than I've helped. The slowness of my computer frustrates me. All right. That is the magic wand, and we have our magic wand buttercups up here.